Hey, this is Kit Cabello of hardlensmedia. I'm joined here today with Ali Hasan. Thank you so much for joining us. He was one of the speakers on our Facebook live stream covering the Victory Forum against white supremacy and systemic racism. So, essentially, your organization, what is it, and what is it doing right now in regards to grassroots, reaching out to other grassroots organizations?
Absolutely. So we are a grassroots organization ourselves, and basically our thought is highlighting oppression that's going on throughout the world, not only domestically in the U.S. but also all over the world. I mean, there's conflicts going on that really the media has not caught wind of or knows about, but has deliberately or intentionally has left out. And our point is to bring the awareness around those conflicts and so forth.
Now, in regard to policies towards the Middle East and other countries that have definitely dealt with a lot of drone activity from the United States, what's really necessary to change at least decades of military policy towards those countries?
Stop military intervention in foreign lands. That has to stop right away. I mean, it's not helping us; it's actually hurting us, and there's no good coming out of this. And we've seen that we've had the same policy over the last 20 years, or ever since we started this war on terrorism, and it's gotten us nowhere. It's created more enemies than friends, and we have, for whatever reason, supported these military regimes and dictatorships that really are not helping us at all. So, the question is why.
And in regards to getting some policies passed in regards to helping out people, especially those who are refugees, essentially what is the initial crisis number of people who are being displaced because of these policies?
Well, see, the thing is, you talk about refugees, but I think what we need to do is we need to stop creating more refugees, right? I mean, there is an ongoing crisis in Yemen. We're directly part of it because we have just sold $100 billion worth of weapons to the key country that has been bombing Yemen, which is Saudi Arabia. So the thing is, refugees are a byproduct of bad foreign policy. We stop the bad foreign policy first. We'll stop the refugees. Now, the refugees that are already created, we do need to do something about that. We need to open our borders for them because they are a byproduct of our bad decisions.
And what people don't seem to realize is that when people are displaced, they get the symbol that all of a sudden they're bad people, that they're just coming here to take jobs, or they're here to hurt people. But what do you have to say to that description of when the media portrays refugees as people who are trying to hurt or cause chaos?
Well, you have to understand why they became refugees, right? They didn't become refugees because they committed acts of violence overseas. Acts of violence were committed on them. Bombs were dropped on their homelands. They lost siblings, they lost relatives. So at the end of the day, they're victims of our foreign policy. And again, it's very sad to see that, again, that not only are they not being painted as victims, they're being painted as the oppressor versus the oppressed. They're the oppressed people here. It's very clear.
And have you noticed any kind of shift in regards to how people view the Middle East and other Arab countries?
In terms of?
In terms of perhaps maybe the military interventions that we do need to stop, and that perhaps they're not going anywhere?
Well, it's a big question, right? I mean, we just saw 7 countries that were identified as hostile to the U.S., and it's very mind-numbing to understand that that list wasn't complete. Why were certain countries left out? You have to ask that question, right? I mean, why were, for example, Saudi Arabia, why was it left out? Why was Qatar left out? I mean, if we're talking about the Middle East, we should talk about all the countries in the Middle East and not selective ones.
And in regards to your organization, have you guys reached out to any local state legislators or federal legislators in regards to hearing your cause and in regards to the situation that's happening in the Middle East?
You know what? I think working the streets is going to be far more productive than actually reaching our senators and our congressmen, because at the end of the day, it is the bad decisions that these congressmen and senators have voted upon that have brought about the disruption, the chaos, the devastation that we're seeing in foreign lands. So at the end of the day, my hope is more on the people, is Joe on the street than Joe in Congress.
And final question for our viewers and subscribers: where can they find out more about your organization, and where can they find you guys on social media?
We're definitely on social media. You can definitely search People United Against Oppression, and we're the only organization with that aim. So fairly easy to find.
Well, thank you so much for joining Hard Lens Media. Peace, everyone.
You're watching Hard Lens Media.